Happy Sunday, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon, and wherever you are staying cool and safely social distancing. Thank you for joining me if you're watching the replay, and even if you're watching me live. I think my comments are on, so hopefully there'll be some comments coming on soon. Just want to introduce myself. My name is Barbara Ragsdale, and I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. And if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, hey Erica! If you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, we are a paper crafting company that sells coordinating cardstock, inks, accessories, ribbons, designer series papers. We offer kits. We cater to not just avid or occasional stampers, but we also have a lot of items for beginner stampers so that you don't feel so overwhelmed getting started, because it can be a little overwhelming once you see a catalog and you're like, okay, I want everything. But we know we can't have everything, but there are ways around being able to get things and not having to pay full price. And one of the things that you can do is you can join my team by purchasing a starter kit, and you get to choose whatever you want. You can choose $125 worth of product in the current catalog, but there's a little twist to that too. Hi Casey, thanks for joining me. You can get $125 worth of product and only pay $99 for it. And then you're also going to get a free paper pumpkin kit. You're going to get free shipping. And right now, we are active demonstrators are in a pre-order status with the holiday catalog. And so that's pretty exciting, because we've already got to see some of the things that are going to be coming out in the next holiday catalog, and that's super exciting. So if you join and you want to be able to take advantage of that, you'll also get that VIP status of being able to see what's in the catalog, but at the same time you can also choose some of those new holiday products to be in your starter kit. So that's pretty exciting too. Plus, think about this, next month we're going to be able to order the larger version of the new die cutting machine. Only demonstrators can do that. Everybody else has to wait till September in order to at least get the larger one, and then hopefully we'll have some kind of a follow-up with when the smaller one will be available, so that we can get that out to you, because we're super excited and ready to start using that. So, but think about that, only demonstrators get that VIP status, and on top of a discount on your products, so you can't lose. Hi Veronica, thanks for joining me. Oh, you're not late, Stella. But so just join my team. The starter kit actually is the best deal in the catalog. But there's other great deals as well. So it all depends on what you're looking for and what level of crafter you are. So if you don't have a demonstrator and you need help with that, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to help you. And if you need some, excuse me, I did go out earlier, but it wasn't that long. But I may have to take a sip on my Sprite if I start getting too froggy. But I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot. I lose track real easy, sorry. But what I did want to say before I forget, for real, is last week, I don't know, I know Stella was watching, and then there was one other lady that was watching me, and I was trying to figure out as I was doing the demonstration and I kept looking up at the comments that they were the only two commenting, and I was like, okay, so I just kept on. It wasn't until I went to go edit the video and add all the details to the bottom of the video that I realized I wasn't live on this page. I was live on my BOGO page. So I did go live last week at 3 p.m., but unfortunately I went live on the wrong page. So, but there was a couple of people that were participating. So in order to be fair to everyone, I wanted to, I haven't done a drawing yet, so, but the 2 people that did watch me, I'm gonna send them just a special little gift for joining me on the BOGO page. But I'm gonna do another drawing. So I've got to go back and look at the replay and see who all liked and commented and shared the video, and then I'll do another drawing, and I will do that drawing later this evening. So hi Darla, thanks for joining me. So I'll do another drawing for the cards last week, and if you remember, that was the Playful Pets Sweet cards that I did. So yeah, sometimes I was looking at my camera when I did it, and my BOGO page was right below the Stamp Pat page, and I just picked the wrong one. So, but I did go live, and then I had to re-upload the video as just a whole video in order for everybody else to see it. So whichever one you watched, I'll go back and give you credit for. So, but also July is a new month, so that means a new host code for the month. That means new cards for the month, and this time I'm going to be doing all 4 cards, just so that you can see how we put them together. Yeah, Veronica, because it wasn't where it was supposed to be. It wasn't you, it was none of you guys, it was me. But new cards, new month, new host code. I'm going to be featuring the Birds and Branches bundle today, which this particular stamp set has coordinating dies. So, and because I'm doing all 4 cards, I went ahead and did all of the die cutting, and yeah, it was die cutting and embossing. There's one that's embossed. So I went ahead and did all that just to save some time, since I'm going to be doing all 4. And on the sample that I was doing for the simple stamping one, there's a little smudge on it, and I didn't want to go back and fix it, but it's not terrible, but I can see it, so it's gonna stay as one of my samples. But let me see what else. The holiday catalog, I know I said that. If you want to be able to look at it early, order from it through a pre-order status, or make that part of your kit. All you have to do is purchase the starter kit, and if you don't already have a demonstrator and you would love to join my team, just go to either my blog or my website and click the join button, and then I think on my blog it says join my team. There's some links on there for you too. So and then I also did want to say that I do have a live retreat that is already in the making. Seats are being booked right now for October. It's Columbus Day weekend, actually, the 9th, October 9th through the 11th. And if you live anywhere near the San Antonio, Texas area, it's going to be located at the Mountain Laurel Retreat in New Braunfels. And I had the pleasure a couple of weeks ago of going there and looking at this place for myself, and it's beautiful. It's Texas hill country out there. It's peaceful, it's quiet, the place is new, it's fresh. There is a limit to the amount of people that can attend, and it is a woman's only retreat. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm in full swing with all of the details when it comes to that retreat right now. But if you are interested, there's a link on my blog as well for all day and 1 day retreats. You can click on that and get all of the details. There'll be a PDF that'll pop up that'll have all of the pricing and payment options and things like that. So I'm super excited about that, and looking forward to that, and hope that it holds with all of the COVID things that are going on. So, but we're gonna still play it safe. We're gonna plan to have a good time. I know a lot of us need to get away, and I went to one in May, at the end of May, but I'm always up for going somewhere if it has something to do with crafting. So yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on our cards. Like I said, we're working on the Birds and Branches bundle, which is a stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set and a coordinating dies. And I'm going to leave these down, that way when I point the camera down you can see all 4 cards that we're going to make, and then some of the other stamp sets. I've used these before because they have so many sentiments, but I've used Peaceful Moments before because there are a lot of sentiments on there. So I've taken one sentiment off of that one, and then the other ones come from the new cling stamp set, Lovely You, which is in the new annual catalog, just released. So this one's a new one. So I kind of put several of them together, and so let me go ahead and point the camera down and we'll get started. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Make sure I can see that host code while you're there. And hopefully my camera will not move. Let me tighten it. There we go. Okay, so these are the 4 cards that we're going to be making today. We've got this one, and there's that smudge I was talking about. Somewhere I got ink on something. I'm going to take a quick drink real quick. And it just smudged it a little bit. Oh, there we go. So there's that one. And then there's this one that has some die cutting. And I've already die cut everything and embossed anything that needs to be embossed just to save some time. There's a happy birthday card. This one actually opens this way, so it's got a little flap to it. And then this one is real similar to the first one, but it just has some embossing on it and some designer series paper, and then there's just an inside right there. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this super simple stamping one right here. And the colors that we are using on this one is, let me make sure you can see, is Soft Sea Foam. Get that lined up. There we go. We're using Soft Sea Foam, Crumb Cake, and Berry Vanilla. And because it's stamping only, which is simple stamping, when all you have is ink, stamps, and paper, that is your simple stamping right there. We're going to put this up a little bit so we can see that. And because we're using photopolymer, we have to have our little mesh mat behind us here. So I've already got everything mounted, and then we're going to be stamping the branches in soft suede. So we're going to be using a couple of different varieties of these browns. So I'm going to move that up a little bit so I don't get ink on that. So I'll stamp this up. And I've used both sides of my block, so I just have to be careful with the side that I'm stamping on. Okay, we'll get that one on there. And then I'm going to turn it around and do this one. And then you'll notice that this one right here has a little extension to it. There's a smaller stamp that's part of that set that's just a little extension, so I'm going to ink that one up, and I'm just going to add it to this one as an additional branch, just to kind of get some extension out to that. And those are the branches. And I'm going to leave this open because I need to use that for some of the birdies, but we're going to use Soft Sea Foam for the leaves. So I'm going to ink that up. See if I can get this right this time. There we go. I don't think there's a right or wrong to this, but you do want to try to sort of line them up. And then I did the same thing, and I just turned it around the other way when I did this. There we go. And then you'll notice that this one only has part of one. I'm going to clean my stamp off. And the only part I'm going to ink up is this part right here. So, and I can tell because it's photopolymer that I'm only going to be inking up that one little piece. And then I'm going to stamp it on that. So when you use part of a stamp, you always want to make sure that your full stamp is clean. That way you don't transfer any of the ink to your paper. So that's all I'm going to use for soft seafoam. And now I need to do my little birdies, which I used both sides. One side is the side that has detail to it, and then there's another side that has like a fill-in color, and I've done that for both of the different birds. So depending on if you want your bird to be facing left or right, depends on which one you want to use. So what I did for that one is I'm using crumb cake. I'm going to do the bottom left one first, so he needs to be looking this way. I'm going to ink him up, and I'm going to put him on. See if I can line this up a little better. Let me go. Okay, so we did that part. And then to give him some shadow, I'm going to be using, it was Sahara sand, pretty sure. I didn't write them down, but I'll have to write them down for the tutorials. Which one am I on? Sorry, I'm turned around. And get him over that. And because it's photopolymer, you can actually see where you're going to be stamping. And you can go over him just to give him a little color on the inside. And then now we're going to do the opposite one. So we'll do the opposite one in crumb cake. I'm going to stick him up here. You can kind of line him up to that one branch. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Sahara sand. I'm going to line them up. If you're concerned about it not being lined up, you could also break out the Stamparatus and use the Stamparatus in order to do that piece. That way it lines up. But with photopolymer, it's pretty easy to see where you're going to be stamping, and it's not going to be perfect because remember, these are handmade cards. This is not an assembly line or not a Hallmark. Then we're going to use our early espresso for the little bitty their little feet, their little whatever you call those. And then I've got two depending on what side they're on to make sure. This one is for the top one. Okay. And I also have a little piece scrap of, it doesn't matter what paper that you use, because what I'm going to do, I want it to look like his little feet are on the branch. So I'm going to cover up that part of his little belly right there. And see if I can see where I'm at. I'm going to stamp over. There we go. So now it looks like he's on that branch. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this little guy down here, but I'm going to use the opposite, I don't know. If y'all know what if y'all know what these things on the birds are called, let me know, because I'm like I'm calling them feet for now, but there are two different directions, so you've got two different stamps depending on what direction your little birdie is sitting in. And I'm going to do the same thing here, where I'm going to cover up his little belly there and stamp over So it looks like he is sitting on that branch right there. So that's where your scraps come in handy if you have scraps. And it didn't have to be crumb cake. It could be any scrap that you have. And then I'm gonna leave this early espresso open because I need to do our sentiment, which says, "You are my person." I thought that was kind of cute. Thank you, Veronica, for sharing. To remind everybody, in order to win the cards that we're making today, if you comment, you like, you share. If you share, you have to tell me that you're going to share. I'm just trying to line this up and talk at the same time, so we'll see how well that goes. There we go. If you like, comment, share. If you share, let me know in the comments. And that helps get you into the drawings for, I'm not sure what that is. I don't remember I don't know. Who knows? You get ink on everything sometimes. So now we're going to put our card together. If I need to, I'll redo that one because I'm noticing a smudge over here too. And I'm like, where is this ink? I may end up doing that one because I see 2 smudges on that. And on the other one I'll just have to make sure that my hands are clean before I go from step to step to step. So this one may smear a little bit more as we go along, but now we can actually assemble our card. So we're just gonna mat this. We're gonna do both of our mats first. I'm gonna center that over this piece of soft sea foam. That on there. And put some adhesive on the back of this. Then get this one over that piece of crumb cake. I'm not gonna rub it, I'm just gonna tap it there. That way I know it sticks. But anyway, there's card number 1. It's Simple Stamping 101. You got cardstock, you got ink, and some stamps. So you can still make a beautiful card, a beautiful simple card, without having to have too many products. Especially if you are on a budget and you still want to be able to craft and be crafty, but you know, can't invest in dyes or anything like that. You can still do things without all of that. It just takes a little creativity, but it can happen. I can show you. So there's card number 1. And now card number 2, we'll go ahead and do this one. When I did the sample, I boo-booed a little bit, but on the inside you can see there's a circle because there's smudges. I started getting smudges on everything, so I was like, ah. So I just put a piece of cardstock over that to cover that so that I could stamp over that instead of ruining the entire card, because this is just the sample. So the colors that we are using on this one is soft suede. We're going to use Night of Navy, and then we're using Seaside spray for the lighter blue of that. And I just went ahead and die cut out 2 of these leaves from the dies that come with the bundle. And then I went ahead and did the same thing for this piece of soft suede. There is a die that cuts all this out for us. So we can go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this one, but before I put it down, I'm going to be brave about this, and I'm going to put this down before I go any further. I'm feeling brave. I think after a couple of times last night, I was like, okay, I was putting too much pressure is what I was doing, so I'm going to put this down. And I'm only doing this because I want to make sure that you see the smile through this opening, and I didn't want to have to cut that paper to make it look like it fit, and then it looked weird on the inside. So I am stamping it in early espresso, and it just says smile. You can have any sentiment you want. but this one just says smile. So I'm going to close that, see if I can get straight up here, and just stamp. So just lightly press down and bring straight back up. And of course there's a smudge, because there was too much ink on the inside, on the outside of my stamp, sorry. I pressed too hard, which is real easy to do. So what I'm going to do, I guess for the, it's already down. That's why I didn't want to, I wanted to stamp it first and then put it down, but yeah. Maybe, we'll see. I may end up redoing this one, but I'm going to go ahead and continue. That's the only stamping we're going to be doing with Early Espresso on that card. And I've already gone ahead and done the die cuts. So I'm going to get a dimensional on the back of this little guy. Peel that off. You know what? I'm going to put the leaves down first. Let's do the leaves first. Let me get that down with some glue dots. And then I'm going to use some more glue dots to help hold the back part of the leaves down. I'll go ahead and put it on here. These will catch. Try to get it up high. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing for the one that goes across the bottom. Ooh, take the thing off that little dimensional. Now it's sticky. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time joining me, I hope this gives you some kind of inspiration, and don't get that down. Sometimes it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. Don't let this keep you from jumping in and being crafty, because we have all made mistakes in crafting, and that's how we learn. We learn from our own trial and error. Get that one down. We learn from our own trial and error, and then we learn from other people as well. I'm going to get a glue dot behind this one just to keep that down, and then I'll press that one down a little bit more. And then I'm going to put this one down. I'm going to put him kind of right here. I'm not going to do little legs on him, even though there is a die to put some little legs on him. I'm not going to do it on this card. On one of the other cards, I will. So, Veronica Stella says, rhinestone those spots. Yeah. Veronica says, can you put a matching on the inside to hide the mistake? I'm probably going to end up doing what I did on the sample one, which I cut out a circle that was just slightly larger than this die cut, but I used a scallop version, and then I was able to stamp it just fine on there. So I may end up doing that, and only you guys will know that I did that. So, because to the average person, I'm just putting some more glue dots down here to keep some of these little leaves down. Because to the average person, they're not going to know there's a boo-boo hiding underneath that. And oftentimes, we tell people, if you mess up on one side of the paper, there's always another side of the paper that you can give it a second try. So most times you can get away with doing that. There we go. And then we've got our little in color ribbon with Misty Moonlight. And tie a bow. Make it a little smaller. Get my ribbon scissors out. We don't sell ribbon scissors anymore, and I really wish we did. We have our paper snips, but for those of us that have been around a few years, we never get rid of our ribbon scissors. Those are a must-have. Let me get some glue dots on the back of this one. I'm going to put a couple of them just to make sure that it sticks. And we'll stick that one right there. And then we're going to use some Pearl Basic Jewels. I'm going to use this last large one that I have on here. And I'm going to stick that one right there in the middle, just to give it something extra on this bow at the top. And if you need to trim your ribbon, you can trim your ribbon. So there we go. Card number 2, Smile. And like I said, of course, because we're using the Lovely You stamp set, you have so many more sentiments that you can put there. And if you own other stamps as well, you can always put a different sentiment with whatever would fit on there, if you're going to use this particular design of card. So yeah, that one's pretty. That one's pretty and simple. Just a few extra steps with some die cutting, but it's still rather simple and easy to do, even for beginners. As long as you know how to use the right tools, you can get away with doing something like this. Okay. So card number 3 is this Happy Birthday card. This one is just a little different because we're going to be cutting off part of one of the base and then just turning it sideways. So this piece right here actually was the missing piece from this piece right here. Normally our paper is long, but on this one what I did was it got cut at a certain point. Let me see if you can see that. It got cut at a certain point, and then this other scrap that I took off, that's what I used for the side, on the side. And in the tutorial there'll be measurements, don't worry. Some people can look at a card and self-measure it and see how it's put together just by looking at it, but in the tutorials that come with the online ordering special, which is if you order $25 or more off my website, which I think you just see the blog right there, but there's my website. Get that down a little bit more. You will get a kit, a free kit, in order to make all 4 of these cards that we're making. So you do have to make sure that you own the stamp sets, but if you really like the stamp set, you can actually use that for you can use that as your $25. And on page 120 of your catalog is where the Bird and Branches stamp set and the bundle information is. It's in the back, but in the inside of the catalog, it's on page 120. And the whole bundle is $46.75, which clearly is more than $25. But if your order is $50 or more, you get a free accessory that coordinates with that. So, and it could be ribbon, it could be, most of the time it's a ribbon of some kind that has the same colors, but it could be anything that coordinates with it. It could be rhinestones or buttons of some kind. So, and now I've gone ahead and done all the die cutting with this one. And here is the base. And there's nothing on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead, for the sake of getting an extra piece of paper out of the way right now, I'm going to go ahead and mat that piece. Get that one down. Hope everyone's enjoying their Sunday afternoon. Chris went out earlier and got us some breakfast tacos, and he came back in and he was like, whoo, and I'm like, okay, that just tells me right there I ain't going outside. Okay, I lied. I might go out for some Whataburger sweet tea, but other than that, I'm probably not going to go out. And then this little piece of paper right here, if you have the, let's see, in Good Taste Designer Series paper, this actually is one of the sheets of paper. If you remember from, I can't get my sample because it's on my sample board and I can't put the whole board under here. But if you remember, this paper had, I don't know if you can see that from there, but it's a lot of rustic kind of designs with planking, hardwood, tile, carpet, like a Berber carpet kind of a look. Very neutral colors. So I took a sheet of paper that I had from a scrap and put that piece on this little flap right here, just to give it some kind of texture looking on the card itself. And if you participated in my product share for the annual catalog, don't forget you have this paper in your product share. That was part of what you paid for on the samples, especially if you participated in the paper sample. And you can see this piece right here is a little lighter than my piece because the paper is like that. It's not that it's defective or anything, it's just it imitates wood, and all the wood is different colors. So then this piece right here, remember, it just goes right there. That was the missing piece. All we did was I cut it, I want to say at 2 or 2 1/4. It'll be in the instructions, and then I'm turning it sideways. So I'm going to build my mat, but before I build the mat, I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping, so that gives that a little time to dry. And the happy birthday stamp that's on there actually came from, I've used this before, Peaceful Moments, and I'm using the happy birthday stamp on that one. So you can tell there's a lot of different sentiments. So, you know, if you're getting started and you're not sure, you know, where to start, I would always recommend starting with a stamp set that has a lot of different sentiments that you can use. You know, so if you're concerned about having, you know, to spend, you know, a lot of money on, just, you know, one particular stamp just to get one little sentiment, you know, look at the stamps in the catalog that have a lot of just sentiments on it that you can use for various occasions. Various fonts. And these can be either on the inside or on the outside. Either one. What'd you say? You love breakfast tacos? You made 2.5 dozen cookies this afternoon. What? I can't read the entire... What did you say? I made 2.5 dozen cookies this afternoon without setting the house on fire or calling the fire department. Win for me. Oh, I bet your house smells so good right now. That is a whole reason to get into the kitchen and want to go bake now. Because I'm not going outside unless I go get some Whataburger sweet tea. But by the time he went out and got breakfast tacos this morning, it was already like late. So he went to H-E-B because they have a little taco place inside their little store, and that's where he got that from. So yeah, we had a little late start, but it was okay because they were good. Okay, so now I'm looking for my happy birthday stamp. And if I had to guess, it's not in there. Okay, here we go. What is it with missing stamps and me? Like, this table is only so big. That's that one. Want to make sure it's not in the bin. I have a bin behind me. Well, I'm just checking to make sure I didn't put it somewhere and it's underneath something, because this whole business of losing things that are probably right in front of me is getting really old. At least for me. If y'all see it right here in front of me, say it's right there in front of you. Like, how in the world? It's gonna make me choose a different sentiment, but I'm gonna continue building this little thing, and I'm gonna keep looking around. I didn't bring the big shot out, so we don't have to worry about the big shot picking it up and taking it off somewhere. Let me put that off to the side. Keep going here. This is Early Espresso, and we're gonna mat this piece of Early Espresso on this piece of, I want to say, oh, I gotta go back and look. It looks like gray granite, but it could be Sahara sand, but I think it's gray granite. I would have used a color. Let me check the back of this, because on the back of, it's most likely gray granite. So just by the way, on the back of our designer series paper, to keep all of the guesswork out of it, there are a list underneath the title on almost every single designer series paper. There's a list of all of the coordinating cardstock that goes with this particular paper, and it's different for every set, obviously. But I couldn't remember what color this was because, quite honestly, both of the colors are really, really familiar if you put them side by side. One's just lighter than the other, but this one is gray granite. So I was able to confirm that piece. And then I still want to be able to stamp, but let me get some dimensionals on the back of this bird's nest, which, by the way, this bird's nest, I'm going to put those on. But if you notice on this card, there looks like there's some flecks in there. And it wasn't part of the stamp set because the stamp set doesn't have that on there. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really simple, but you have to use your Stampin' Right marker, and you want to use the side that has the little brush tip to it. I want to say, this was something I learned a long time ago, and I want to say that this is called thumping or something to that degree. But you want to take your Stampin' Right marker that has the brush tip in, and then your piece that you want those marks on, and then you're just literally thumping on there. And you can do that as much as you want, and I think that's enough. So that is real similar to that one, but not quite. But that's all it is. You just take that and do that little number and thump on it till you get it to how you desire it to be. So I'm going to take those off. I'm still looking around for my little stamp. I'm going to put this one right here. And then I have our little bird. And before I put him on or her on, it's probably a female if that's babies, but I don't know. Sometimes the men take care of the babies too. But remember I said there's even a die cut for the little feet. So here is the little die cut. I stamped it and then I die cut it. So before I do that, I'm going to put a glue dot right here just to help those hold on to that piece. So let me get a glue dot on the front of the top of these feet, right there. And then it's super sticky. Then I can put the feet right under there where they're barely poking out. I'm going to get a glue dot on the back. Let's stick the birdie right here so it looks like she's sitting on top of her nest looking at her babies. And then there's also a die cut for the eggs. So I stamped the eggs. Let's see if I can get this up. Oh, it won't come up. There's 3 of them. You can do more eggs if you wanted to do more, but there's actually a die cut that there's a stamp for the eggs, and I stamped these in Seaside spray. The bird, the detailed part, I stamped in Misty Moonlight, and then the lighter version, the solid version, I stamped in Seaside spray just to give her some color on the inside. And then the eggs, I went ahead and did those in Seaside spray as well. And for those, I put a small dimensional on And then I just put those back behind. No particular way, unless you want them all lined up. You can make them all be different. And do that. And then the last one, I can't pick it up. It's like stuck to the, all right. There we go. Put that one on that one. And we'll turn that one a little sideways, like he's kind of rolling over a little bit. Now, I am still looking for that happy birthday stamp. So, what I might do is, I would love to be able to stamp happy birthday on this stamp. And I'm missing the block and the stamp. And it shouldn't be hard to find because it's not photopolymer. It's these clear stamps, so it's got red rubber on one side. Hold on, bear with me here. All right, you guys, I don't even know where it's at, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting this on. And then I'm just gonna have to be super careful later with actually stamping it on there. But you get that centered over that piece of early espresso. Get that on there. I'm just gonna tap it down. And then when you put this little piece on this piece right here, you want to make sure you can actually attach this any way you want. You can attach it all the way to the left, all the way to the right where these line up, or you can kind of center it, which I thought it looked kind of neat centered. That way you can see some of this very vanilla all the way around. So we're going to do that. So I need to make sure that when I put adhesive on the back of this piece right here, that I don't go past pretty much this first egg on here. So I'm gonna use my thumb as a guide just to make sure that I don't go past that. And I'm gonna put 3 strips on there just to make sure that it doesn't move. And then that will also give me an opportunity when I find that happy birthday stamp, put that down, make sure it's centered, that when I find the happy birthday stamp, I'll be able to stamp and it's even. There's not going to be a break in any of the layers right here that won't let me stamp it correctly. So, and then of course you can stamp anything you want on the inside, any kind of message, or if you do stamp a message, or if you do write something, just make sure if it's not too big of a message that you stamp where that piece will cover it, whatever it might be. So let's just pretend that one says happy birthday. And there's card number 3. It's a happy birthday. I thought it was kind of appropriate being that it's eggs that are about to hatch and the mama's there and she's going to say happy birthday. But once I find that stamp, I'll stamp that one. And if I never find it, then I will just give away the sample that I made because there's no smears on it or anything like that. So I can do that. So there's card number 3. And then the last card was similar to the first one, but just had some die cutting and some embossing on it. And we are using, for this one, we're using, this is Crumb Cake. This is soft suede. This is the wood grain, see if you can see that, the wood grain embossing folder. So we have an embossing folder that makes it look like it's a tree, which I thought was cute. And then this designer series paper is actually part of the Boho Indigo paper pack. I thought the colors looked really, really well with this and kind of went well with it. And then I also used, we have a new punch that's called the Lovely Labels Pick a Punch, I think is what it's called. And I just used that particular sentiment, so. And anybody that's on my team, I have a team meeting next Saturday afternoon. This will look familiar, so I'm kind of giving you a sneak peek of what you can see at the team meeting. So let's put this one together. But I went ahead and did all of the embossing and cutting. So we're just going to fold our base in half. And then I want it to open this way. So what I'm going to do is, let me go ahead and get this piece on here so I have one less piece floating around that could get ink on. I'm going to center that over the piece of crumb cake. And that's going to be the inside. So now I want to do this piece right here because this would be the next piece that would go on. And I want to make sure that I'm doing it on the back side, putting the adhesive. So this is the back side. And then this is the piece that I want to show through the window. So this would be on the back. So what I'm going to do is put some adhesive just around the edges, just a little bit here and there, just to help hold that piece of designer series paper down. Down there. And then just center that, and you do want to make sure that, you can't really tell with this one, but you do want to make sure your flowers are at least going in a semi right direction when you put it down, especially if it was another piece of designer series paper where you had to make sure. And if it was upside down and you were still at this particular phase, that's okay, because remember, on this side the embossing goes both ways. So if you accidentally put it upside down, you could just turn it around and be like, oh, okay, that's the way I need to put it on there. So this piece is the one that we're going to put on this piece of crumb cake. And I am using the Stampin' Seal Plus because I'm finding that that one is working a lot better for me. So that's why I haven't had any issues with my seal. But I am going to be watching another video really soon about one of the other Stampin' seal that we have. So this sentiment says just because. And smile. Where's my just because? Oh, good Lord. Here we go again. I think I put him back. No, I didn't put him back. I know I'm not crazy. There's because both of these stamps are in the same pack, and both of those stamps I seem to be missing. So I know I have them in, I know I've got to have them right here. Hold on. Well, look what I did find. I found the happy birthday one from earlier. So let me go ahead and do that one. I told you, see, Veronica says, I can't wait. I can't wait either, because I have lots of goodies for you guys. But I want to go ahead and stamp happy birthday while I have this Night of Navy still open over here. So I'm going to stamp that. Make sure I don't have ink all over everything. And I found this in one of the bins that I had set aside for the team meeting for the make and takes. So that's why I couldn't find it. So I have a feeling the other one is in that one. So I'm just going to stamp happy birthday. There we go. Yay. but I still need to be able to use that just because. So there's the happy birthday from the other one. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, I've seemed to have lost a couple of more stamps while I'm right here, and now I'm looking for the just because, and I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and use a different sentiment. So let's see. Instead of just because, let's use trust me, you're lovely, wildly grateful. Let's use wildly grateful because I'm thinking about one that's real similar in size to the one that I can't find right now. So we will use that one. And then I'm going to use the back side of that. Because you can be wildly grateful about something or somebody. Make sure I don't have ink on the outside of that because I want to stamp it off to the side. Give a little pressure, and it is a little crooked, but it'll be okay. It's not terribly crooked. So we're going to get a dimensional on the back of that. Actually, I'm going to put one on both sides. So Veronica, you have to tell me if Electra is coming. I'm planning for it, so I have plenty of goodie bags and make and takes. So I'm really excited. Y'all are going to have a great time. And I will be glad to finally meet everyone in person so we can put names with faces. And then I'm going to put a glue dot on the end of that one just to get this one down right there. And I'm going to put another glue dot on the other side to help hold those down so they don't move. And I'm going to put one right there to help hold that part down. I don't want to rip it, so gotta be gentle because these could catch on to something. Okay. And then put a dimensional on the back of the bird. And stick the birdie right here. If you're concerned about these sticking out, they are part of the branches. And it looks like on my sample that I actually cut them off. So let me snip these off and just make them even with that piece. And then I'm going to put him on here to help cover that up. You don't have to do that, but there we go. So there is card number 4. Different sentiment. I'm sure, as always, I will find it once I start cleaning up some things and putting things away. But card number 4, either just because or wildly grateful. We'll just go with that one. And then card number 3. Now these are the monthly special cards. So if you place an order on my website, there's card number 2. Let me see if I can get these all in the same picture. If you place an order of $25 or more on my website using this host code right here, and I'm going to show you where to put the host code. If you're on my website and you are in your shopping bag, that code on the bottom left of your screen, you're going to see a section that says host code. That's where you'll put that host code and you'll do apply. And that will tell me at the end of the month, any of the orders that are using that host code, I need to make sure that you guys get one of the kits for all of the cut pieces. So I'm going to be cutting, embossing, and die cutting as much as I can. But you will have to make sure you have the stamp sets. And then there was the simple stamping card that was number 1. I'm going to try to put all those in the same one. But there's all 4 cards. Gorgeous. just a little bit of scraps, a little bit of the designer series paper, cardstock, some die cutting, and you can have these cards as well as the stamp set if you want the stamp set, which is birds and branches. And it does come with all of these. There's no sentiments on this stamp set, and that's actually okay with me, because that tells me I can use any other stamp set that I have if I wanted to put a different greeting on it, which we did. You know, we used some things from Lovely You, and we used some things from the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which was the Happy Birthday. But there's their photopolymer, and then they do have coordinating dies. And don't forget, if you want the bundle, you can also buy the stamp set and the dies, and Stampin' Up! Will give you a 10% discount on it. So if you bought both of these separate, it would be a little bit more, but if you bought them as a bundle, the bundle is only $46.75. So if you spent just a few dollars more, you're already going to get the cut kit for free. But if you spent just a few dollars more, then you would get, if you get it to at least 50, you'll get a coordinating accessory from me, which, let's just say for this particular monthly special, in the cut kit, you're going to get enough ribbon to make this little bow right here. But with the $50 or more, then what you're going to do is probably get a roll of the Misty Moonlight ribbon trim, or another ribbon trim that matches this. It could be anything, just based on availability. It could also be very vanilla, something very vanilla, or crumb cake, so that it matches and coordinates. But you'll get that accessory for free. So those are all 4 cards. I hope you enjoy those. I hope they give you some inspiration to get started on some of your products that you have. So I'll go ahead and get the camera pointed back up. And then I want to make sure I hit, for some reason it says silent mode, but I know it's not silent. So, but I do appreciate you guys joining me today. Veronica says it depends on if we're fully staffed, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's okay. I will still have a goodie bag and a cut kit, so I've got a fun time planned for you guys. But don't forget, we are in the pre-order status for the holiday catalog. So if you want to see the new products and you want to be able to order the new products, you can do that by purchasing a kit. You can join my team, purchase the kit. You can select whatever you want. Don't forget, it's $125 worth of product. You're only spending $99, and you're getting the $125 of whatever you chose. And it could be holiday product. It could also be product from the new catalog that just came out last month. You're going to get a free paper pumpkin kit, so that you can experience what our paper pumpkin kit subscription service is all about. And you're going to get free shipping off that, plus you're going to get that VIP status that demonstrators get when it comes to being able to see and order products before every catalog is released, and so that we're prepared to show you guys when the catalog is released everything that you can do with the new products. And so holiday season is coming up. Don't forget my October retreat. There are still a few spots that are available. It's in the Texas Hill Country, which is not too far from where I'm located. It's in New Braunfels, and the place is gorgeous, peaceful, beautiful. The craft room from where we're at, I got to see it for myself. You can see it on their website, but you almost have to be in the room, and then you're looking out that window, and then all you see is just the Texas Hill Country. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I'm just really excited to be able to share that weekend with you. Several of you that are watching will be joining me, so I'm excited about that. And I'm just busy planning all that. So if you want to be able to participate, go to my blog, There's a whole page, and then there's a flyer listed on there as well. But if you're not able to go, I am going to be offering a to-go option. So you'll be able to experience everything that someone that was there would be able to experience, except for the food and the laughter and the fellowship. It is a woman's only retreat, and like I said, the place is gorgeous. It's beautiful, it's fresh. We have plenty of space in the craft studio, so I do hope that you can join. But if you can't, you can also take advantage of part of the experience by taking it to go. And I will have some upcoming events coming up that are going to be really soon that I've also been planning. So now that we are pre-ordering for the holiday, I'll be doing a special holiday bingo. So I didn't do an annual catalog just because it was so close to holiday, and I would love to be able to do a holiday bingo. So we're going to be doing that, and if you can't join us live, which I do plan on it being live, but it can't be a full packed house. It can only be a certain amount of people just because of social distancing restrictions and group gatherings. So but I will also have it available virtually. So if you can't join me live and you prefer to join me at home, you can still have the same experience of playing the games, doing the make and takes, winning the prizes, and having that experience. You'll just be doing it from the comforts of your own home. So, but thank you again, you guys, for joining me this Sunday afternoon. Stay cool, stay hydrated. I'll see you next Sunday at 3 p.m. with some goodies for the next week. So I have to figure out what am I going to use this next week. And then I will be doing a drawing later today. So I'm going to go back and look at the replay for last week. So I do apologize for going live on the wrong page. But I'm on the right page. I made sure I was on the right page. So thank you, and God bless, and y'all have a great afternoon and a wonderful Sunday evening, and we will see y'all later tonight when I do the drawings. All right, thank you, bye-bye.